Hey, in this lesson we're creating and moving our CPU buffer over to the GPU. This is usually the preferred way of doing things, since the GPU will be a lot faster in rendering when it has its memory locally on the graphics card. To do this, we will still have this CPU accessible memory buffer, but we will rename the variable now to say staging handle. And we're creating a new buffer calling it GPU handle. I copied the code and I will just rename it now. The GPU buffer will have the vertex buffer bit set, but it also needs to have this transfer destination bit set. The memory requirement for that one should be for the memory to be device local. Device local means memory on the GPU. We can then return this GPU handle instead of the staging handle. And between the GPU handle creation and return, we need to copy the contents of the staging buffer into the GPU. So I start a new transient command buffer and end it after that. We can then write this buffer copy object. We set some offsets for the source and destination, and we are not offsetting anything, so it's 0, and the size of the buffers. Then we can call command copy buffer, passing in the transient command, the staging handle, the GPU handle, the copy offsets count, and the copy info. And here, let's not forget that we need to call the dot buffer on both of these. After the staging buffer is copied, we have to delete it. And I will refactor the destroy vertex buffer function to say destroy buffer now. The refactor was almost a success. I have to go to the header to correct the signature though. I can now build and run this and see if it still runs. And now I get an error here. This is a simple fix though. Here in the transient command buffers, where we begin the commands, I have not initialized the info object to 0. Building and running the code now seems to result in a success. But there is one more error message in the console. Here where we created the staging buffer, we also need to request it as a transfer source. And building this, we can now see that this error message is fixed.